live because just got a notification.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? David McDonald here with Mike Baining. Welcome to episode number 50. 2 years. Can you believe
2
that?
years.
2 years of doing this. And of course, on our 2-year anniversary, I'm working off of two 27-inch screens here in my my workroom. And Mike,
Yep,
on his iPad.
Yep, and I am, and I'm live. And thank God I had an iPad.
And we're lucky to even get him because boy, he has had like the worst run of luck this evening with technology. It's like if it could go wrong, Mike has dealt with it and found a workaround and had that go wrong and then found a workaround. But he's here.
It's not going to happen tonight. It's obvious. So at least so no photo sharing, but
no photo share from Mike. Although Mike could probably pull him up on his Mac and then flip the iPad around and show you that way. It'd be like
I'd have to run downstairs. I could just I'll just show you the one picture from Chicago.
There you go. Ta-da!
Look at and here we missed my new on-air sign.
Oh, right.
That was all set for tonight. All right. So really, we're not trying to be goofy and make you seasick.
Yeah.
But unbelievable. So someday I'll get a computer that works.
It's so funny, because we were stressing out yesterday. Well, actually, just the past few days, leading up to this episode, we knew this was our last episode starting the broadcast from Google Plus. We're using Hangouts, which is awesome. We love that Google has this for us, but we always initiated the Hangout from within Google Plus. And starting September 12th, or I'm sorry, September 12th is when they started. Google Hangouts being involved with Google Plus is going away. It's gone. So me not reading thoroughly through what exactly they're doing was under the impression that Google Hangouts is gone. And I'm like, oh crap, it says, you can use YouTube live streaming or whatever. And I thought, okay, well, no problem. Then started looking into it and I'm like, oh my God, we need to get a third-party application and we need to choose which kind of encoder. And it was just getting really technical. And I'm thinking, oh no, like, why is this happening to us? We're going to be done after our 2-year anniversary. Yeah. So going back and reading this article, I think it was on TechCrunch, I noticed, wait, you still initiate a Hangout. Google Hangouts is staying. It's just you need to launch it from within YouTube. So we were stressing out, but I was trying to play with this yesterday. And while doing this, my eyesight camera and my iMac stopped working. And I'm trying to get Mike in on a Hangout, and I'm like, oh my God, this is screwed up. Like, what the heck's going on? And I had to, do a terminal command to basically kill the eyesight and bring it back. And I gave that to Mike tonight, and Mike tried it, and there was no resurrecting it tonight.
And then for some reason, my laptop will not pick up the internet in the house. Who knows why? It worked all day long at work. It was fine.
Crazy. So my day at work is transferred over to your time at home now.
Yes.
It's messed up. That's just how it is. But so what do you got there, Mike? What do you got in your hand? You got something going on there?
Yeah, I am playing with the new here. I ordered it so I could get it from Optech USA. That can hold the two lenses, and I know a lot of people have done this before. Yeah. Where I'm trying to see if I can see it here. Where you've just glued the two caps together.
Right.
You've taken the two tabs, glued them together. And that's a little flimsy doing it that way. And I've used the lens flipper, and that works good for that use. Like if you want to carry the lenses on your outside of your thing. Right. I really just wanted to reduce space in a bag.
Right.
And at the same time, be strong and boy, this thing is really strong. Yeah. I'm surprised. I mean, I just opened it up after I found out my camera wouldn't work.
What is the cost on that, Mike? And can we
$16. So cool. So it's not bad. And you don't need a bunch of them. I mean, I'm not going to put the 300 and the 40 to 150 on here.
But it's killer for the primes because in my bags,
exactly what I got it on, 2 primes right now.
If I'm taking primes in my bag, they're always stacked on each other. So if I can do that, I don't have to worry about lenses bumping into each other.
Yeah, and actually that reduces my bag size. So now I can almost go to really I need just the Pen F, 2 primes, and I got a day of street shooting.
Sweet.
So tiny little bag, and my water bottle will take up more room than that.
Oh yeah.
So
did you order that off of Amazon?
You know what? I went to Amazon to look for it, and they're not there. Well, they're there for Nikon and Canon,
but not for Micro Four Thirds yet.
not the Micro
Okay.
Four Thirds
But you
yet.
do have a link that we can share after, in the show description. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
like I'd send it to you right now if I had a computer.
I'll tell you what, Mike, the way things are working out, why don't you just write it down on paper and
hold it up?
Oh, yeah, you can
just hold it up.
Jeez, you're way more advanced than I am. I was thinking about putting a stamp on it and sending it.
Can you see the UPC? Could that help anybody?
Oh, yeah, right.
Scan here.
After 2 years and 50 episodes, as technology advances, this is where we're at. So.
We have, yeah. I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I get to share tonight, I think.
That's Mike's share. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I want to just take a second to talk about October 1st, Saturday, October 1st. Every year I think this is my 6th one. I need to start counting backwards and see either 5 or 6. I've been hosting a Kelby photo walk, part of the Scott Kelby Worldwide Photo Walk. And the last last year, Mike was, actually the last 2
years.
Two. Yeah, that's right. The last 2 years, Mike has been helping me with these walks, and this year he's helping me with this one again. It's Saturday, October 1st at Kensington Metro Park in Milford, Michigan. It's my favorite spot to do it. I know it's like completely foreign turf for Mike. Mike's the street shooter. Last year's, actually the last 2 Kelby walks we did in the streets. We did in Ann Arbor and we did in Lansing. This year we're taking it back to my turf. We're going to Kensington Metro Park, so it's a natural nature kind of thing. And the Kelby walk on the website, if you visit our Kelby page to register, which I'll share the link after the show, there's a limit of 50 people that you can register on the site. And by registering on the site, you're given the opportunity to submit like your favorite photo from the day. And Mike and I will just kind of go through and we'll pick our favorites from the day. And we'll choose like a single winner from that gets submitted to Kelby, and it's entered into this big, massive drawing globally, prizes that can be awarded. But if you go to the Kelby site and see that there are no more spots left, which it's probably going to happen that we'll end up with it full there, just come. So it doesn't matter. You can just go. If you want, you can go to the Mirrorless Adventures meetup page, which there'll be a link below after the show for that as well. And you can just let us know on the page, the meetup page for that outing, that you're going to come. You don't have to do it. I like it if you do this, though, because I can show my sponsors, because we have sponsors this walk, how many people are coming. And if the numbers stay big, then the next year, more sponsors. And speaking of sponsors, so far I've reached out to a few companies that I've worked with in the past. And so far, 3 sponsors have jumped on board to offer some stuff up. Those are Lens Baby. And I've got White House Custom Color jumped on board today, which is super cool. And my favorite rental company, as if there are a lot of rental companies that I use, but just a cool all-around company to deal with in general. Anyways, borrowlenses.com. So those 3 have jumped in as sponsors. I'm waiting to hear back from like the company that I shoot professionally for, Olympus. They're busy. There's a lot, this time of year you've got Photo Plus Expo and you've got Photo Kina coming up. So the people that I deal with at Olympus, they're in over their heads with stuff planning right now. Also the trip that Mike and I take in November to Olympus headquarters, the logistics behind planning that for like 13 people to fly in from all over the country. It's just a nightmare. So I'm expecting to hear back from them probably within the next week or so to let me know if they're gonna or what they're gonna do as far as participation goes. I'm just boxing my mic here. And I've still got a few other companies that I'm waiting to hear back from as well. So long-winded, take a breath. Like I said, if you're in Michigan or close by, we've had people from Windsor come over for the photo walk. I've had people drive up from Ohio. I've had some people come from Illinois for our photo walks. So if you want to do the drive, come over and just spend a nice morning walking at an incredible park full of trails and wildlife. It's just a gorgeous place to go, and come hang out with a bunch of photographers like us.
And you know what? If you're coming from out of town, spend the weekend there, because real close to Kensington Park where we are is Novi. I mean, it's like shopping. It's like the Mall of Americas in Novi. Novi is definitely. So if you need to convince somebody that, hey, we'll go shopping on Sunday or Saturday after the walk, you got a lot of things you can do in Novi for sure.
Definitely, and you could always talk to Mike. Mike could give you some ideas that day of places to visit. there's a ton to see on the east side.
You could
of the
head
state.
down, right? You could, because you really are. You're on probably the furthest west of the east side of the state. Does that make sense?
It does if you're from Michigan. It totally does.
Right. I mean, I didn't even hold out my hand and I said it.
I was waiting for the hand to come up and say, this is where the walk is.
Right.
So yeah, we'd like to see you guys there again. If you're anywhere near Michigan, come on up for the day. Like I said, we'll be doing the walk afterwards. Usually a small group of us hangs out afterwards and goes and grabs a bite to eat and just talks photography. It's a good time. So
yeah,
again, all the info will be at the after the show, in the show description. There'll be everything you need to learn about our walk.
Cool. Yeah, that'll be fun. It'll be good. I think I might have convinced my wife to go this year because it's not in the streets.
Cool. Good.
She said if Jamie's there, she goes, I like nature, so Jamie's there, he'll know what the birds are. I go with her and she's like, I don't know, that's a red bird, there's a blue bird.
Right.
I get the bluebirds right, sort of.
Yeah, I'll be able to tell her the birds and the plants and the mushrooms and all kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah. And
I'm a
don't
fountain
step
of
in the
useless
poison
knowledge.
ivy.
Yeah, right. So that's kind of the closest thing coming up that I've got going on. I've got another event. I think it's like 2 weeks after that, October 15th. I'll be doing something with Olympus at the camera store in Lansing. So just stay tuned for information on that. It'll be another nature and wildlife type event with a focus on probably like the 300 millimeter. So if you want to get a shot at playing with a 300 millimeter for an afternoon in a wildlife setting, and again, you're somewhere near Michigan, mid-Michigan at this point, just south of Lansing, keep your eyes open for that.
Cool. Yeah. And I don't, well, I do have one thing going on the week after our walk in Kensington but it's, I don't want to say it's sold out because I didn't charge anybody for it. It's a Mirrorless Adventures. We're going to the Chrysler Museum, Chrysler automobiles. They only open a museum up like 10, 11 times the entire year.
That's cool.
And so on that weekend, it's sold out, or again, nobody had to pay anything for it. It filled up completely inside of it about an hour and a half. But you get on a waiting list because some people, it always goes to say some people at the end say, I can't make it that night. And then you pop right in.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. We'll meet. We're actually going to meet about an hour before, get some breakfast, and then head out there and be able to look at the vintage Chrysler cars indoors. So if it pours, we're fine. No problem there. You won't get wet or anything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, outside of that, I think our fall time is going to be spent with the summit. Those are a lot of days away from home for that stuff.
Yeah.
So
this year might be a little shorter for us. I think we've both got tighter timelines to deal with this time, but still it is a long time. I think like 5 days away. So, but it's an incredibly fun 5 days.
Yeah, exactly. Nonstop. And we'll put out something once we get closer, I'm sure, to say, send us some ideas like you always do for sure.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, there'll definitely be that post where Mike and I are asking the viewers to email us, instant message us, just however you can get a hold of us. Any of your suggestions or input that we can take back to Olympus headquarters. Feedback to the engineering team and the people over in Japan that make actually all the big decisions that matter.
Yeah, exactly. That's sort of a good, decent lead into that article. We don't have to. I don't have a lot to say about it, but I think we'll throw the link in there, that PenF article. If anybody saw that, or anybody on the show that's doesn't matter what you're shooting, you've heard of the PenF and you've heard how beautiful the camera is. And there's an article that's, I guess if you wrote it out, it's probably 5-6 pages actually. Yeah, I think in length. But amazing of the detail that went in to build that camera. You know it when you feel it and you see it and you shoot it. But until you read it, you go, wow.
Right. Yeah.
And I remember when they first brought me in to test that, they started going over a lot of those pieces. And I can remember thinking, that just doesn't even seem right. How they spent that much time on this camera. And that is a labor of love for those engineers.
Oh, without a doubt.
And, I think you hit it on the head on your post. It's just, it's art to them.
It is. It is. I don't know if it sounds cliche or not, but it is definitely a case of form meets function. It's amazing how much they packed into such a small form factor, and
Mhm.
still have it be comfortable to use. Granted, you
Mhm.
know, I'm not exactly Mr. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hands, but
Mhm.
still, I mean, a camera of that size, I haven't heard you complain about using it. And I know several people with definitely bigger hands than I have that also
Yeah.
shooting with it that have not said anything negative about using that camera and that
No,
use.
everything fits that the little, whether it's the knurls or the little indentation for your thumb. I
Yeah,
can't believe how they got that right. And then on a lot of people's hands
yeah.
too. I mean, so that takes a lot of work,
And that
which is
article lays
amazing.
it all out there because the article basically that Mike's referring to is it's pretty much an interview with two members
Mhm.
of the design team for that camera, you know, and it's cool just to see how that whole process works, you know, like what their mindset is going into something like
Right.
it's a lot more involved than just saying, okay, you know, we're going to take this Olympus pen camera and we're going to add a couple of buttons and call it a new pen. It was
Yeah, we'll make it
so
look like the film camera, and everything will be fine.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
there weren't that many buttons on a film camera.
Right. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
definitely a labor intensive
Yeah.
process, but man, it was worth it because that
Yeah.
camera's incredible.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting for the future,
Yes.
because
Oh my gosh.
that kind of product, now they've raised the bar
Oh yeah.
is the way I look at it. So now they're going to have to hit those bars on any new stuff too.
Oh
It'll
yeah.
be exciting.
And I'm sure that that's where it's headed. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, it's just the
Mhm.
fit and finish and the refinement of everything just keeps getting better
Right.
and better.
Definitely. Definitely. So,
Yeah.
do you want to share pictures? I'd like
I'll
to see
share.
something.
I'll
Yeah.
share a few pictures. It's well because it's been a while since we've done a share. You know, because
I know.
so we had Megan on and we
Right.
had her share her work because well she's the guest and we wanted to see
Hmm.
what she had to share. So I've just got 5. That's really it. And they're just, you know, I don't know. They're just what I've been doing lately.
Hmm.
So this first image, you know, I've been trying to get doing a little bit more black and white. I love black and white. I just don't feel like I do it enough.
Hmm.
So this is at, it's called Kirk Park. It's actually a dog beach on the west side of Michigan. Because this is a long exposure, you don't see the dog that had run back and forth 2 or 3 times in this shot, believe it or not. Actually, they would have been cropped out a little bit on one side of the frame, but the other side, they were running actually up here through the water in front of the log, but he was a dark dog, so he didn't show up. But this is like a 3 or 4 minute long exposure. And the
Wow.
way I was able to get a 4 minute long exposure during the day was that I just have this cheap infrared filter. It's just a screw-on filter. It's not an infrared converted camera. But in order to block out most wavelengths of light other than what's in that infrared spectrum, it is a dark filter. It's like looking through welding glass. It's basically like, I'm telling you what, dude, it is so hard to focus on anything. So I have to use the magnify and then manually focus on the logs. But this would have been
Right.
shot at f8, so it's not even like I stopped down real far to lengthen my exposure. But it's f8 ISO 200, and this is on the 12-40 on the EM5 Mark II. And again, like I said, it's like a 4 minute long exposure, and it's still pretty light out. On the right hand side, you can see how bright it is over there. It's because the sun is probably 20 minutes away from setting, so it's getting towards sunset.
Mhm.
And I just did this just because I liked the sharp division between horizon and sky. It's like it's almost like there's 2 separate things going on there. So
Yeah.
that was that. This next one was from last weekend. It was cool to meet up with actually a couple of photo buddies. One was David Bastador. He lives down here just south of me. And this where this is shot is like 2 hours north of where I live currently. So 2.5 hours for David. But David drove up for the day to go do some shooting, and I met up with another friend of mine, Jerry James, lives up in Muskegon, and one of his friends. So we just went out to the pier. This was actually the last weekend that the pier had this catwalk on it. The pier in Grand Haven is going through a renovation project where they've pulled the catwalk completely off it using floating cranes, and then they're stripping down all this top surface of cement and redoing it all. It hasn't been done since the 50s. And it's like a several $1 million project. You don't know, 10 million or something probably. And it's going to have this pier closed down for almost a year. So I wanted to get one last set of shots in before the catwalk came off. When I go back up this weekend, I'll be on this pier that you see on the right-hand side, shooting back over to this pier, which is on the south side of the channel here, with no catwalk. So no lights, and hopefully getting the Milky Way coming up over it. So it's kind of exciting to do this. But this was just sunset, and I like seeing the boats that I could never afford come rolling by. And this is the EM5 Mark II, the 7-14 on it with, again, that favorite filter holder of mine made by Phil Norton.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That boat, I knew it was the 7-14. I go, oh, I love it. What it did to that boat.
And that's straight out of the camera. This is the JPEG, so I didn't even know that. It's just love what that filter setup does. So the next shot, this is probably 3 miles from the campground we're at. I have no idea what happens at this place. It is the weirdest facility I've ever been around because it's covered in signs that say no trespassing, and then there are signs on it's U.S. government, no trespassing. The building has signs with guns on them, basically telling you, don't even try it, buddy. So I don't know what this radar dome does. I'm pretty sure it's not Doppler. I don't know if it's part of some early warning system or whatever. But this was shot at the very beginning of the month. I still had light pollution from the moon and some light glow from Grand Rapids, which would have been back towards where the Milky Way is rising there. I just knew that this radar dome, I wanted to shoot it. I've been wanting to shoot it for a while. And I almost didn't go that night, and I just thought, man, you know what? I should just go shoot this. So, and I don't remember if I shared this on a previous show or not, but I figured I'd share it again anyways if I did. I'm going back there to this location again as well this weekend because we should have no moon to contend with. So I'm hoping my Milky Way shots will be a lot better. And I'm also going to throw a question out there to the viewers to see if anybody has tried this because I haven't yet. I'm going to put a graduated neutral density filter on my camera upside down because I want to tone down the lights on this building. So if anybody's done something like that to get rid of air glow from cities, light pollution when trying to shoot a Milky Way shot, just put it in the comments below or message me somewhere on Facebook or Twitter or wherever to let me know if you've done it. I'm just curious if it'll actually work. So I'm gonna experiment. This is the EM5 Mark II. It's the night camera in the Olympus system as far as I'm concerned. And this is with the 8mm f1.8.
Yeah.
My barn. I hadn't been back to shoot it in a while, and I have a new toy now that I wanted to take out to the barn, and that's the DJI Phantom 3. And I wanted to fly it around the barn and just kind of document the barn from the air, but why document it from the air and not take photos of it while you're there? So this was shot. This is shot. How did I do this one? I don't remember. It's 12-40 though, and converted to Nik Silver effects. And I think that's pretty much it. It's almost, other than that, it's just dumped into Nik with the red filter to get that black sky. Last one. I shoot such a diverse range of things, I think. Last one, cedar waxwing. And if you follow my vlog, you will have actually been on the trip with me when I came across these guys. I've been wanting to shoot cedar waxwings for a while. I never had an opportunity where they were in a setting that was appealing to shoot them in. They're usually in some sort of scrub trees with lots of branches around or sitting on telephone wires, and I just won't shoot birds like that. So this was just on the side of the road while I was vlogging. I happened to see this little swampy area and I saw the birds flying around and decided to stop and shoot them. 300mm f4 with the 1.4 teleconverter on that, and this is on the EM1 because that's kind of what I always use when I'm birding is the EM1. Just I like the way that the focus system works on the EM1 with the 300mm and with the grip and the shape of the EM1. It just makes hand holding and shooting wildlife with such a long lens so much easier. Yeah,
I agree with you. Boy, I was all set this weekend too. Well, I guess I didn't get any, but shooting a football game. I had my nephew's football game, and the darn lightning came in from those huge storms.
You're complaining about
everything
lightning
down. Every time it strikes another lightning, they have to go another half-hour delay.
Yeah,
it ended up being delayed almost 4.5 hours. We just left.
Yeah, that's definitely not fun. I mean, I love lightning, but I suppose if it's going to ruin,
if you're going to try to shoot football, it's not going to work for the kids. But that is those are awesome shots. The barn one is great too. The sky.
I don't know if I shared this one on a previous show or not. I don't remember how long ago I took this one. But if I didn't, same thing. You were talking about lightning. This was my one lightning shot of the summer that actually turned out. And this is at that same dog beach too. You got to love live composite. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, how could you not love live composite? It's
Right.
it makes stuff like that a piece of cake.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you, if anybody follows the show and they're watching the show, look on I'll share the pictures that I have queued up to share tonight on my regular Facebook post and stuff. But on Sunday night, I went out and with the Lee 7 system, did some of my own shooting out along getting the sunset with the skyline of Detroit from Belle Isle. And, I had the big stopper, the little stopper. So I had a 10 and a 6 on there. And actually I tried live and just went live composite instead of, you can go live time and stuff too on those. But I went live composite with those. It just really, it just did a great job in the clouds.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the shots, I was real happy with them. You'll see them someday.
Yeah.
as I'm sharing them, but it was a good night. Other than the 300 mosquito bites, I'm still itching from, from Belle Isle.
Yeah.
I should have known better, but yeah. So on the 2-year show here, I had put on the one of the posts, hey, come watch us and that, and leave a comment. A couple of people left some really nice comments. That Kelly Kearney Reynolds really, was really happy, and he said he's learned so much, which is great. I mean, I love doing the show just because of that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that just helps so much. And I actually, as much as we might have like taught people, or not even taught, but just let them know about, I think I've learned twice as much probably from everyone else.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Like the walks and everything. And then Bob, we're just going to say Bob
Remashevsky.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, man. Bob Remashevsky from our Wisconsin guy. He, and then Reba put a nice post, Reba Basket. Yep. And she says she's looking forward to events down south that we're going to do.
I've been telling her for a while now that we have to. I have family down there. And I have.
Oh, do you really?
Years. I've got tons of family around Nashville. So.
Oh wow.
I owe it to them and Reba, to make a trip down south, and I owe it to myself. So definitely, exactly. I need to work that out. Area. I'll tell you what I need to do. I need to make the day job thing just kind of go away, so I can do all this this other travel. But
that has gotten in the way a lot lately, and I anticipate more in the next couple of weeks here. So
yeah,
but it has been. I remember back. I was telling Jamie. We did this little intro. If you go on the channel, they're still there on the YouTube channel, like talking about, hey, we're going to do this thing called Mirrorless Minutes. I was set up in my bedroom somewhere where I didn't have any idea. Like, I know I wanted some nice lights and all that crap. And here I am 2 years later with the same crap. Nothing got better. But you should go back. Those are a good laugh. I mean, I watched it the other day. I go, because I remember my kids laughing at me doing it. So yeah, it was funny because really we hadn't started the show at that first Kelby walk, did we? No, we hadn't started the show. Mm-hmm. We were talking. In fact, we hadn't even seen each other.
Yeah, that was the first time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we said, oh, you want to do a show? I guess, sure. Yeah.
Yep.
And 2 years later, here we are.
Incredible.
So, yeah.
And I think the next year coming up is definitely, it's going to get better. We're always talking about things to do to, improve what we do, things to offer back. So the whole Mirrorless Minutes website was something that, that we tried to do, and it was really tough. We were blessed beyond all belief to have a lot of contributors that really, put into that, and Terry McKay hosted the site and set it all up and managed that for us. And it was a lot of work that a lot of people put into it. And I feel really bad that because everybody's so busy all the time, we never maintained that. So my hope is that sometime in this upcoming year to kind of get that thing going again, but just streamline it, make it really simple so that we can get back into having some contributors to it again. And it'll require less involvement and overhead and oversight by Mike and I, because I kind of want to give that back to the community. And I'm thinking about trying to find a way to set it up so that even the community can be contributers. We'll have to moderate that part, of course, because how people can be. But so I think there's some changes coming up in the next year that that Mike and I will probably look at doing. I know Mike was showing me some great software that might change the look of Mirrorless Minutes in the future. I'm thinking about investing a little money into that. So
yeah, there's some good stuff out there on some of these podcast shows. These guys, I mean, they look like TV produced shows.
Yeah.
And,
we got it. I got to get rid of this. I got to get rid of the whole bedroom setup.
Yeah. Yeah, those were some pretty cool, some overlays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like that. But that, and I think, we got it set up now. We're going to be putting the things back on iTunes, the audio.
Yeah.
And that'll be happening. So we're back to that, because I know that was a big calling. And Terry did a great job for us. He really got us launched into this world, and it's really happening now. And now we'll take it to a different level. I mean, it's going to change.
Yep.
But the show keeps going on, and I think from suggestions from everybody else too really helps.
Yeah,
let us know what you think.
Yeah, we're always open to that. We're thick-skinned. We can take it. Whatever you've got to say. As far as suggestions or ideas, we're game to hear those, and we might just have to implement some of the ideas you guys have. And like Mike said, we're now back on iTunes again. I'll put the link to where we're at in the iTunes store in the podcast section, so you guys can subscribe there. If you don't want to look at this, you can listen to it.
Right.
So I guess that's probably about it. We're at the 30-minute mark. And I guess we just want to say thanks. If you guys weren't so involved and so active and so supportive, I don't know that we would have kept doing this for 2 years. You guys make it fun.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the things too that really says how many people actually watch the show is like this Out of Chicago conference that we do, the last 2 years. I mean, we are always, we're going against people like Brian Peterson, Frederick Van Johnson, and Valerie. I mean, huge names.
Yeah.
But we still are the ones at the end that we're told we have the most, we bring the most people to that event.
Yep.
And which blows me away constantly.
Yeah, it's pretty it's humbling, very humbling to hear that, that more people attended Out of Chicago because of what we were doing than those names that Mike listed and others, So I mean, and ultimately it goes to you guys, for being such a cool fan base, for being subscribers and watching and being a part of it all with us. So we owe you big time thanks.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm gonna get mushy,
Yeah.
But hey, 2 weeks from now we'll be doing this again. Regardless of what in the heck Google's doing to try to confuse me. So tune in a couple of weeks, and look forward to some guests coming up as well. I know Mike and I want to get back into the swing of doing that. Having Megan on was such a treat, and it's fun to be able to bring other people into the Mirrorless Minutes fold and get them seen by other people as well. So.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess that's it.
All right, man.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have some ice cream and peach cobbler my wife just made.
All right.
And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
See you, everybody. Thanks.